Hey, it's Dovitate from PyDragon. Today I'm going to be showing you guys through the plugin set Colourways so that you know how to use it properly. So the first and most important plugin that you will need from Colourways is Spectrum. This is required to use any of the other plugins from Colourways. Now what Spectrum does is it provides the color palette information of your current palette to all plugins which need that information to function, which we will get into later. Now, if you plan on using the default palette, you don't technically need Spectrum, however, you do need it if you want to use any custom palette. However, if you use Eyedrop 3 by Cascoby or the Eyedrop fork created by PyDragon, then the color palette will automatically sync between Spectrum and Eyedrop when you load it in. So now let's go through each of these plugins. First is Borealis. Now Borealis is a velocity remapper. It allows you to change one color in your project file or light effect to another color entirely. For instance, this light effect here uses the color green. So if we set the velocity here to green, then we are able to later change that velocity to, say, a purple. And we see that difference reflected in our light effect if we slow it down. Now, if you don't know all your velocities by heart, and it's okay, I don't either, then you can use the listen device in conjunction with Eyedrop to select what color you want to turn into another color. Next is Fader. We've started with this blank single color light effect to demonstrate what Fader does exactly. Now Fader works very similarly to Iris, however, it integrates, once again, the listen feature as well as a device width which stays the same regardless of the length of your fade. To increase the fade length, all you need to do is increase the number of colors. Similarly, to decrease it, all you need to do is remove colors. Fader will display whatever velocity color is in the index you have selected, and you have the option to select between the length of each individual color in the fade and the length of the entire fade itself. Fader also features two modes, a classic mode and an after fade mode. After fade appends the fade that is set in the device to whatever incoming fade is given to the light effect. So for instance, with fader off, this is our light effect with its original fade, and then with fader on after fade mode, the fade from the fader is added to the very end of the fade from the original light effect. Lastly, we have universal hue shift. It is exactly what it says on the tin. It lets you hue shift your light effects. Now there is this smoothness knob. This smoothness knob really only matters if you are automating the hue shift value. The smoothness parameter simply tells the hue shift device how often it is able to update itself in order to save on processing power and lag on lower end systems. You can see the hue shift being modulated here. If I raise the smoothness up really high, you will see the color does not change very often, versus if I bring it down very low, it will change the color as often as it possibly can. However, this can cause a lot of lag, so I recommend just keeping it around the default value, as with the resolution of most Launchpad color palettes, you won't really be able to notice the jitteriness of this. But there you go. That's how you use the Colourways plugin set. Thank you for watching. Bye.